Is Puppet the fifth victim? Reward 3,000 bounty. Man or men who catch and kill the shark. Alex M. What went down in Amity on Saturday, the 5th of July, 1975. You know, kids karate chopping. You know, panic. Boots and reward. You know, chopping the fence. Hello, welcome to Was It Worth Buying? Jaws Steelbook. Now, don't hold me to this, but I think I'm right. Big fan of Jaws, ever since I was a kid. Even the other three that follow. Again, I appreciate Jaws for how it was made, especially like the time with, you know, the shark is not working. I mean, it's still a fucking shark, and the ocean. Do you know what I mean? It's masterpiece. You know, you like now it's just like, oh, it's CGI. Is, you know what I mean? It's just like, well, like there's a part that like your mind goes, it's not really there. Not going to worry about that. And there's a part of your mind when you see Jaws and go, yeah, that's kind of fucking terrifying, especially now because of the resurgence. I mean, there's that photo being flipped around the black and white where the shark's coming up and the fucking kid's getting annihilated. And it's like, this scene was cut because it's too graphic. And it's just the shark. And it's like, I mean, that's fucking scary. But obviously they wanted to keep it back. The bit when the guy gets sucked under the boat, when he's trying to get back on the boat and the shark turns. Because of HD and you can actually see the fucking shark. That's fucking terrifying. So this is the Jaws Steelbook. But it's not just the first Steelbook. It's actually the new Steelbook. So was it worth buying? The second Steelbook should be the case on this one. Now, this is one of the very first Steelbooks I actually bought because I'm a massive fan of Jaws. And like back in the day when Steelbooks coming out, I mean, at the time I didn't have a lot of cash, so I missed on stuff like Predator 2 or Predator the first time around. And this was one of the reasons. This was like 30 quid when it came out. And this is Jaws on Blu-ray. Jaws was like the first DVD I bought when I bought a DVD player, and Expendables was the first Blu-ray to buy. And Jaws came along and I was getting ready for Jaws, and I think this is one of the best Blu-rays to come out. I think this is the benchmark for all the films. When it comes to a Steelbook though, it is a bit of a letdown. The classic cover on the front, the impending doom from below, and absolutely fuck all on the back. Like, look at that. Do you know what I mean? Early days of Steelbook. Oh, it's cream. Inside, the girl again getting absolutely annihilated. So it is a sinister one. And there, Blu-ray disc with the shark on it. Was it worth buying that back in the day? Yes, because the restoration alone is amazing. Like, you watch a documentary about the restoration and it's absolutely brilliant, and you think, if Universal puts that much effort into Jaws, but then if you think about Universal the last couple of years, I've just been chucking everything at Arrow over here. Like, there you go, Arrow, have the Burbs, like the Burbs, the Thing, you know what I mean, just have it, you know. But like, the preserve the archive. So for anywhere for Arrow to pick it up, then you've got like Scream Factories gets involved in America. So Universal, like, it's kind of like for how much they treat that as a classic. When you think about, oh yeah, do you really treat that as a classic? I mean, they're probably not going to. I mean, the Universal Monsters box set, you know, they did they really preserved them as well. But the documentaries, the shark is still working, and the actual behind the scenes documentary, which come on the same disc, outstanding. It's packed full of stuff. It's just a shame Spielberg doesn't do audio commentaries, or they haven't got someone to actually do the audio commentary. But like, when you watch it, I mean, I watched this last night. I did a 12-hour stock take at work. It came in and I just went, you know what, Jaws. And I only just recently watched Jaws, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, because me and it's a podcast crew, Carl McSorley and Paul Ray, we're going to start doing Jaws. We're going to do the 4 Jawses, even though Jaws the Revenge has been already covered on the podcast series. So I'd watched Jaws then, and I watched the documentaries again, and I watched it, and I mean, this must be the 4th or 5th time I've binge watched this whole Blu-ray. But last night I just wanted to sit there and watch Jaws. I think it looks absolutely stunning on Blu-ray, and I went to the pictures to see Jaws for its restoration in 4K on its anniversary, and unfortunately Brett had to work, and I took my mum and Action Jackson and his family. I told him about it, and we went in. It was sold out, man. It was packed. Carl was there, but Carl was sitting at the front because Carl's got like one of the Odeon tickets, and Action Jackson and his whole family came to sit right next to us, so it was mental. That was really, really cool, that. And my mum absolutely crapped herself when the fucking head comes out the boat. And my mum had said, oh, me and your dad went to see this at the pictures when we were dating. I was like, bloody hell, do you know what I mean? And I jumped at the same bit. But I mean, when it comes to Jaws now, you're talking $7.99. Jaws is not available as a collection, even though the box set is quite misleading because it says Jaws 2, 3 and The Revenge. And Spielberg, you know, I mean, even in the documentary, I've seen a true Hollywood story documentary where it gets very vicious between the cast. It gets a bit more grim and personal. And then I've seen additional documentaries where it talks about the other films and the downfall of them. But with this being this and Universal, the documentary seems to not have this. It seems to be the same interviews, just doesn't seem to be such a harsher cut. Which I found, you know, I mean, I just remember seeing that on E-Who Trollywood. I can never say that right. It's because of Limp Bizkit. Is it E-True Hollywood Story? But yeah, all in that Blu-ray and the Steelbook early on, was it worth getting? Yes, and it's never dropped in value, and you never see it second hand to pick up like the walk in the shop. I mean, this actually has a protector case on, even though it doesn't seem to do much justice to the back leg. Look, you can see the camera, dude. But when H&B started to announce that they're going to do a Japanese range, which is unfortunately stopped since the third lockdown, and I don't know if it's rebranding very soon. Oh, bloody hell, I didn't actually know this, so this is pretty cool. So I got this, and this is one of the very first unboxings I did in the house. I was painting in the other room at the time. So it's a very similar front cover. Now this one made total sense to bring out. Recently, Z to the I announced Jaws 2 and 3, and then they announced The Revenge. I was bugging the fuck out of Casper, and he fucking ordered them. I see Casper, that's 75 fucking quid. Like, that's not cheap. Like Jaws 2, 3 and 4 box set, maybe it's not individually. I mean, there's some great artwork. I mean, I love the artwork I've got on vinyl for Jaws 2, where it's like the two kids in the boat, and it's just the impending shark again. Obviously over time it got replaced to a woman on a jet ski, wasn't it? But anyway, so the Japanese has been added. The shark's a bit more closer, and on the back has more really cool, very similar to what they used in Jaws 2. As I say, the shark going there, and it's a very similar to what my tattoo is there as well. Actually, I think my tattoo is actually inside it, when I remember right. It is. But was it worth buying this one? I'm going to say yes for a couple of reasons. One, it looks like it's got a poster. So it comes with a poster, and the posters in these are alright, but you know, it's an obscure size. That's been out the box once from the other unboxing, and already it looks like it's from the bloody 70s by the creases in it. So again, down to the paper. Arrow seem to do a lot of recycling stuff these days, but yeah, poster. There's plenty of Jaws posters knocking around. There's plenty of Jaws, but what's really cool is actually this has the 4K, so I don't need to buy the 4K. So when I eventually get a 4K telly and a 4K player, yes, I don't have a 4K player, and I have one of the biggest sections in the northeast to look after. But yeah, that's still the discs. They didn't cheap out on the disc, and Jaws on 4K. And then inside is really, really cool artwork. I really, really like that. I like that so much, that's why my tattoo is there. And I tell you what, that has had 2 passes, that tattoo. It's one of the most painful places to get tattooed, that. So that was my little own barge. It is meant to have, when I start getting tattooed again, a beach closed there, because obviously it comes around to the Loch Ness, so it's all meant to be like a water, but I didn't want the Loch Ness to have any colour because it's based on the classic photo. Anyway, so yeah, that was really cool for anyone who didn't have it. It was quite pricey. Again, you get the 4K, so it was worth buying that again, because the artwork's a little bit different. The style, the quality of them though, this is really slick and glossy. That's very rough, you know what I mean? I don't think it's fully polished. I haven't seen any other additional steelbooks from Jaws, but You know, if you look at my Jaws collection where I've got multiple VHSs, even Steven Spielberg spelt wrong. I mean, I'm a Steven with a V. I'm named after a car, 7. So Steven Spielberg, not named after a car, but he's named with a V. For somebody at Universal to put the fucking PH on the VHS, fuck me, Jesus. Well, then you got the Laserdisc, and there's Jaws worth buying every time, yeah. But Jaws is like, there's so much Jaws, you're never going to get them all, no way, like not at all. But when it comes to Blu-ray, you can pick it up easy for $7.99. But don't be misled by the creepy box set that's only got the 3 films in. So yeah, I'll see you in the outtakes.
Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling?
Here in the outtakes, I ranted on enough. There you go. PH. Like, whoever did that got sacked. I mean, it's an official one. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a dodgy dealing. So, what was going down in Amity in 1975? Amity Island. So yeah, quite a lot going on in the town. Martha's Vineyard. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye for now. So yeah, Jaws. It's Japanese counterpart underneath. The impending doom from down below. Actually, there's one thing that I love about Jaws, and I'm going to put on as an outtake. Because it's like 24 hours is like 3 weeks. It's like that audio clip just jumped in there. Only 24 hours, and it's just some woman in the background. It's not even on her face. 24 hours is like 3 weeks. Anyone who's a fan of Jaws, you want to jump on the bandwagon here. One Crazy Summer. John Cusack. That movie needs released on DVD, Blu-ray, some form. Fucking Jaws spoof. Fucking brilliant. Lost to the 80s. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.